When you're first introduced to the practice of mindfulness and meditation, the focus is on the pieces such as being present in the moment, paying attention, and not having judgment. You may not be aware of the actual physical changes happening in the brain, known as neuroplasticity, that is occurring as you practice mindfulness. According to Sharon Begley in the article Rewiring Your Emotions, our emotional circuits are connected to our thinking circuits, and those thinking circuits are more accessible to our conscious volition. Conscious volition is our ability to decide upon and initiate a course of action. Begley goes on to explain how neuroplasticity can be harnessed to rewire our emotional response to triggers. If you thought you would always have the same response every time to a trigger, you thought wrong. With the practice of mindfulness, you can change how you respond. When practicing mindfulness, you can create new neural pathways between the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive functions such as decision making, stress controllability, and behavioral flexibility, and amygdala, which is responsible for processing emotions and the activation of fight or flight response. The strength of these pathways directly affects your ability to regain emotional balance after a setback. The prefrontal cortex sends inhibitory signals to the amygdala, extinguishing the negative feeling that is generated. This then allows us to overcome emotional imbalance as a result of an unexpected obstacle. Using mindfulness abilities such as sitting with discomfort and noticing and letting go, we have been successfully navigating emotional dysregulation, high stress situations, and growing our ability to be present in our lives. Everyone everywhere experiences some sort of setback, trigger, or obstacle. It is a part of the human experience, whether it be getting or losing a job, breaking generational cycles, depression, the death of a loved one, or any other challenge. It happens to everyone. But it's up to us to choose how we respond to them. In the interviews that I conducted in Milestone 3, I received some very interesting feedback regarding this topic. All of my interviewees had similar responses to the question I posed. Is overcoming the challenge of not being able to deal with unenjoyable situations important? It comes down to how not working through tough emotions that surround all areas of your life is not healthy. It can hinder your confidence and cause a slew of other problems, some being even bigger issues than the original one. They unanimously agreed that the consequences of not overcoming this challenge can seriously affect all areas of your life. Developing the skills used in the practice of mindfulness can help in many ways, not only in your personal life, but in your professional, social, and academic life too. Practicing mindfulness abilities such as being present, sitting with discomfort, and noticing and letting go all go hand in hand with overcoming emotional imbalance and not being able to deal with unenjoyable things. By noticing why you are experiencing a feeling or negative reaction to something, you will then be able to sit with that discomfort and use this information to change your future response when the trigger is likely to happen again. The next time you can use your ability to be mindful of this trigger, let go of the negativity that you've experienced in the past, and reframe your outlook into a positive light. In my personal experience of practicing mindfulness, my ability for emotional balance is noticeably growing. I've been able to get down to the bottom of why I was feeling triggered and change my response. For example, in the past I felt triggered by the messes that my daughter made. I didn't understand why until I started my mindfulness journey. I grew up in a home where messes were not tolerated and were punished. Once I noticed this correlation, I was able to reframe my thinking. First, I let go of this notion that messes were bad because it wasn't my idea in the first place. Second, I planted a new idea in my mind, which was that these messes are proof that my daughter is having fun and enjoying her childhood. Now, I am able to keep this new idea on the forefront of my brain, and it has completely changed my way of thinking. I've been able to become the parent, the partner, student and friend that I have wanted to be. It's impressive what the practice of mindfulness has given me the ability to achieve.
Thank you, Jordan, for getting us started. My name is Morgan Colby, and this course has taught me to be more honest with myself, to take responsibility for my emotions, and to be more mindful. So I'm here to talk to you about the importance of overcoming emotional imbalance due to unexpected obstacles in life. So being emotionally imbalanced and feeling non-attachment is something that's not talked about enough. A lot of people feel embarrassed when they're feeling it, and they think that no one else can relate, that they're alone, but the truth is, we all feel it at some point, and if we talked about it, we could lend each other a helping hand. So I decided to talk with my coworkers about the importance of overcoming non-attachment, and there was a general consensus of two things. So number one, you will never feel satisfied in life until you overcome these obstacles, and number two, you will have a hard time establishing healthy relationships because you are not happy with your personal life. So the consequence of not overcoming non-attachment is feeling stuck in a rut. You're just not going to feel satisfied in life no matter what it has to offer for you. I have found that being present in the moment leads to a lot of productivity, and I can say I have struggled with disassociation. About 3 months ago, I moved out of my parents' house, and I just felt like I made the wrong choice. It was too soon. I didn't want to talk to my friends anymore. I was very isolated. So I started taking deep breaths, just starting small, trying to gather myself. And eventually I got into the mindset of how lucky I am to have a roof over my head, to have a dog to come home to do dishes, to have food to eat. And I'm finally starting to get back into the swing of things. Now I would like to talk to you about an obstacle that I recently overcame. So I'm a toddler teacher, and for the past couple of months, I have just felt drained with my job. Like I didn't want to do it anymore because the classroom was just crazy and I felt like I just couldn't take it. So I started looking into different careers. And as I was researching the different options, I stopped and asked myself what I was doing, because all I'd ever done was worked with kids. All I've ever wanted to do was work with kids, and that's all I've ever seen myself doing, so I didn't know what to do. So I decided to switch my focus from switching careers to just switching positions. I did some digging and found that I think the best place for me would be as a licensed social worker to help children and their families get in contact with the resources they need to live their best lives. So currently I'm in school to get my associate's degree in early childhood education, and becoming a licensed social worker in Maine would take a bit more schooling. It would require a bachelor's degree, and I'm a bit nervous to push myself forward, but I know it's what I need to do to truly feel satisfied with my life. I don't regret deciding to stay in early childhood or pushing myself, because I know it's what's going to be best for me and that I will truly be happy in the end. So thank you for listening, and really do anything you can to overcome the unexpected things in life and to get your emotions balanced, because it's so important and you will not feel happy until you overcome these challenges. Thank you.
It is very common for people to be unable to manage their multitasking. Quite often, people's productivity takes a significant dive due to not putting a concentrated effort into each task and then moving on to the next task. Another consequence of multitasking is there is also a drop in the quality of work you are attempting to complete. Your mind is unfocused, and as a consequence, all of the tasks you are hoping to be completed are falling behind and being completed at a less than desirable quality. This is where mindfulness comes to the rescue. You multitask because you feel the pressure of a lack in time. Practicing mindfulness brings you back to the here and now. Mindfulness creates the correct mental state for the proper headspace around productively completing your tasks, one at a time and with suitable quality. Then you can build on each task completed and create momentum like a train on a track. The points I have stated have shown why mindfulness can help with sitting with discomfort and noticing and letting go of the emotions you are feeling. Like in this example, feeling overwhelmed because of the amount of work you have to complete.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm going to be talking about how mindfulness meditation can help overcome the bad habit of procrastination. This is something that I definitely struggle with personally. Procrastination is a habit that can cause lack of productivity. It can cause poor impulse control, which truly just stems from poor impulse control, and also anxiety, some emotions that we may have towards the task at hand. Being a procrastinator leads to lack of accountability and avoiding the tasks that you have to do, as well as long to-do lists that come from procrastinating these tasks. A little bit of an example, I am a heavy procrastinator, even worse when I was in high school. One example I can give you from my life is this video itself. I offered to put it together because it was something I wanted to do, and yet it's something that I still procrastinated. However, if this assignment was given before I had taken this class, I can promise that I would have procrastinated way longer than I did for this. I procrastinate by substituting my main task at hand for seemingly more important tasks. Like, I would clean the house or go on a walk or go to the gym, and I would say, well, I'm putting my health first. And that would be my excuse. That would be my way of avoiding the task. So I took a moment and realized that I had anxiety over putting all of my group members' videos together. I was worried, what if they wouldn't like it? What if they wouldn't like it and I wouldn't have time to change it? Or we just got a bad grade because of how I put it together. But it was mindfulness that helped me really acknowledge those negative emotions I had towards this task and realize why I didn't want to do them. And I realized that if I had procrastinated with this, as I had done with previous assignments, it would have not only affected my grade, but negatively affected my group members' grades as well. This is part of the reason why I offered to make the video, because I remember sitting over the send button, hesitating, wondering if I would be able to make the video simply because of how much I procrastinate. But I thought it would be foolish to let a bad habit like procrastination stop me from doing something beneficial to not only me, but the group members. So mindfulness helped me a lot throughout this because it's a huge reason why I got over the habit itself. Not fully, because it's not healing, and getting rid of a habit is not something that's linear. You're going to have a few hiccups, and that's also why meditation is there to help you. And there are different types of meditation. So mindfulness is really where you just sit with yourself and your thoughts, and that is how I got over my procrastination. While doing mindfulness meditation, it encourages you to practice self-control, which would help with the impulse reactions to avoiding the task itself. It also helps lowering anxiety, and it has you accept the negative emotion that you feel towards the task that you want to do, and you become at peace with it, sort of. So when I first started meditating, and I know for a lot of other people who I had interviewed, they said procrastination, when they do it, it makes them feel like they aren't accountable for the consequences that come with not doing the assignment. Like, say you get a failing grade, and or say that I have friends who, when I interviewed them, they procrastinated working out, and then they would feel guilty about that later on in the day. So when you meditate and you're forced to sit with those uncomfortable moments of your emotions and thoughts running through your head, over time you'll see that sitting with them longer and more accepting them, it just helps you take your emotions for what they are, and realizing that avoiding the task is not something that's really an option. And once you can accept the emotion that you have towards the task, you can move forward and get it out of your way, and you can go back on with your to-do list. So.
Hello, my name is Reagan Ingley, and for my portion for the needs step, I said that oftentimes we are overcome by intense emotions due to stress or triggers. Unexpected obstacles can cause us to lash out and react in negative ways. These obstacles can include poor performance in school, a loss of a pet or loved one, a high-stress job, or any other setback that you may experience in life. This affects people of all ages, from younger children to older individuals. Everyone has experienced a setback in some way or another. In the interviews I previously conducted in Milestone 2, most of my respondents had similar responses in regards to how not overcoming discomfort and obstacles can lead to more problems. I received responses such as it causing lack of sleep, more stressors in your life, more distractions, and disconnection from our surroundings. After conducting all of my interviews, I concluded that letting obstacles overcome you and emotional dysregulation can lead to more holdbacks in personal, professional, and academic aspects in your life. Being able to manage this challenge allows us to be more present, confident, and happy. By learning to overcome obstacles, we can further manage others that may occur in the future. For my satisfaction step, I said that being mindful is important in overcoming any obstacle and remaining present. By staying present, you can identify what triggered you and made you react the way you did. By noticing and letting it go, you are able to adapt to the obstacle and lessen the emotions and feelings to the situation you're experiencing. Practicing these methods can improve reactions for other obstacles or events in the future. I personally have experienced something similar. I used to be very reactive and got easily overwhelmed in stressful situations. A couple of weeks ago, I experienced many obstacles spanning in only 1 week. My car was having issues, my grandmother became hospitalized, and unfortunately my childhood cat passed away. During this course, I've been practicing my mindfulness skills. Instead of flipping out on friends and family and pretty much having a severe outburst, I took a deep breath and tried to get through and process one thing at a time. I realized my car issues were out of my control, so I let it go after I dropped it off at the dealer. My grandmother's condition was also out of my hands, so I tried to let that go as well. She ended up staying in the hospital for a couple of days, but ultimately was released. My cat, however, did take a little bit longer for me to process. I experienced tense and strong emotions and still am now. I've been practicing sitting with discomfort in regards to my emotions. This has helped me effectively manage my emotions and reactions with others. What I have recently experienced has shown how effective practicing mindfulness and staying present is. It helps us to rewire our future reactions to any obstacles we may experience, now or in the future. In conclusion, we have shown throughout our presentation how each of us have been able to handle obstacles thrown our way by providing our own personal experiences. By utilizing sitting with discomfort and noticing and letting things go during these obstacles, practicing these mindfulness abilities has improved how we react in future situations. Repeated use of mindfulness during the past few months has given us the ability to create stronger connections from our prefrontal cortex and amygdala, as explained at the beginning of our presentation. Because of this, we have been given the new ability to get through high-stress situations, be more present in our lives, and work through emotional imbalances. We can all agree that it is worth pushing through the difficult parts of practicing mindfulness in order to see benefiting results. As we continue our journeys in life and navigate through these difficult obstacles, we hope to continue our practice in remaining mindful by sitting with discomfort, noticing and letting it go, and remaining present in our lives.